question, please put it in the chat box. When the student moderator invite you to ask the question, only then unmute yourself and ask the question. Please mute yourself after that. It is important that we respect.
हमारी यह परंपरा है कि हम किसी भी कार्य का शुभारंभ बिना ईश्वर की आराधना के नहीं करते। तो आइए ईश्वर की आराधना करें।
Good evening and welcome to this special session on the occasion of the National Sports Day. As you all know, today is the birth anniversary of hockey wizard, Padma Bhushan awardee Major Dhyan Chand Singh. He was born in Allahabad in 1905 and named Dhyan Singh. I would like to share something about him with all of you. Major Dhyan Singh was called Chand because he used to practice a lot at night after his duties were over. He depended on the moon to be out as there were no floodlights during those times. This gave him the nickname of Chand, and he came to be known as Dhyan Chand Singh.
Really interesting to know and tells us the importance of practicing any sports to excel in it, making any excuses. Like that, he's called.
We will know more interesting that I want to welcome that we have with us today.
The panel comes from three very different sports, and we are absolutely privileged to have them with. From the sports of Major Dhyan Chand itself, we have with us Mir Ranjan Negi sir, a field hockey player of Indian national team for the hockey themed movie Chak De India. How he led the Indian hockey women team to win a gold medal in 2002. Common, a great motivation during 5 minutes audio narrative
students. And the results speak for themselves. Many of our students have played at the national level in sports. Basketball and lawn tennis have been the main sports we have in school. And we have had 8 players who have played one of these sports at the national level. And I'm proud to say that 4 of these 8 have been girls. In the last 15 years, our senior and junior boys and girls basketball team has consistently been in the top 3 teams in Indore region. Our students have excelled in sports like basketball, lawn tennis, skating, judo, and even swimming. As we celebrate 25 years of providing the best possible educational facilities to the children of Mau and surrounding areas, it is a very proud moment for me that we have the opportunity to hear from 3 sportsmen who have excelled at the highest level in their sports, and a source of inspiration and motivation to all the younger generation. And while they play different sports, which are played in a different, very different facilities and ground, they are, and that is that they India at the in their own respective sports. And a welcome to Mr. Me being the India, where Shahrukh player who of the Indian hockey from you, sir. Welcome. I welcome you in one of the articles as the horse whisperer. He is the face of polo in India today, but not just polo. He has represented India sports and won a bronze in the team event at the 1986 Asian Games. It is always a treat to the eyes to watch this handsome horseman to have watched him play at Delhi Polo Ground a couple of times and seen how much the crowd still loves to watch him play. Welcome, Adhiraj Singh. And finally, joining us today is also Saurav Verma, 3 times national champion in badminton and a career high ranking of world number 30 in 2012. He had represented India at the 2014 and 2018 Asian Games. He most recently won the Indian National Championship in 2019. I am sanguine that a lot of budding badminton players will get inspired hearing this young champion speak today. Welcome, Saurabh. I want to give a warm welcome to all of you and thank you for your support to the Colonel's Academy family. Before I hand over to our students to take over this event today, I have to give my tribute to the legendary hockey magician from India, Padma Bhushan, Dhyan, Major Dhyan Chand Singh. Given that cricket has become the favorite sport of India, it is a reminder I want to share with my students that the story has it that in 1935, when he met the then cricket hero, Don Bradman, who had seen Dhyan Chandji play, said that he scores goals in hockey in the same way runs are scored in the cricket. To my students, I say what the very famous American football player and coach once said. Do you know what my favorite part of the game is? The opportunity to play. So play every chance you get, learn from teamwork, about the spirit inside you, and most importantly, about giving your 100% to whatever you do. As the legendary Michael Jordan said, you have to expect things of yourself before you can do it. Always expect yourself to 100% to whatever you do. My blessings, and with this, smoke over the event. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And it is an honor for us to moderate this session. The national sport of India, which is often lost in the shadows of sports like cricket, was at one time India's favorite sport. Did you know that between 1928 and 1960, India won 8 gold medals in hockey, 6 of which were back to back gold? I don't think the other country has since been able to come close to this record.
Yes, and to add, now that Major Dhyan Chand had scored over 400 goals in his career, which spanned from 1926 to 1948. With that, I would like to invite another hockey legend of India, Mr. Meer Ranjanegi sir, to speak to us.
Good evening, Namaskar. Uh, a very warm welcome to this Colonel's Academy webinar, in fact. And I am so privileged to be present here today with Major Adilaj Singh ji and Saurabh Verma, the man who inspired and who is going to inspire generations in the game of badminton. Mrs. Simi Narad ma'am, the moderator Samriddhi and Shivansh, and all the students and all those who are watching this webinar today, wish you all a very happy National Sports Day. Uh, Before I say something about me, I would like to say a few words about Major Dhyan Chand. मेजर ध्यानचंद की एक ऐसी दास्तान है हिंदुस्तान के एक ऐसे हुनरमंद की जिसने सारी दुनिया में अपने देश का नाम रोशन किया. इस महान शख्सियत के साथ शुरू होता है हिंदुस्तान में हॉकी का सफर. उनका जादूगर और जिनके इशारों पर नाचती थी हॉकी. हिंदुस्तान की हॉकी मेजर ध्यानचंद की 9 के बाद में पहली बार की टीम 1928 के ओलंपिक्स में गई, उसमें चंद का चुनाव हुआ. 1928 एम्स्टर्डम ओलंपिक, 1936 इंडिया टीम ने गोल्ड मेडल जीतकर, जैसा कि आप लोगों ने बताया, चंद का नाम जो है You want me to say anything more?
Thank you, sir. That was fascinating to hear.
You know, another very interesting fact called the Dhyan Chand Award.
Do you know how to ride a horse?
No, I don't.
Well, if that's can you think about riding a horse and trying to hit a ball on the ground at the same time? Some people call it hockey on a horse, but I think it is a lot more than that.
Yes, and to know more about this sport of polo, we invite our very special guest, Adhiraj Singh sir. He is largely responsible for reviving the heritage and authenticity of polo in India since 1996. I invite him to address the students.
Sir, you're on mute, sir.
Adhiraj, you're on mute. Adhiraj, sir. Please unmute yourself. Adhiraj.
No, we still can't hear you.
Okay. Now you can.
Yes, now it's audible.
So thank you, Shiv, and thank you, Samriddhi, and most of all, thank you, Mrs. Kiran Bahadur. Of course, I know you from before quite well, and I'm honored to be introduced to this fantastic panel of people, including Ranjan Negiji, who I know of very well, having excelled himself in the field of hockey. And of course, being a sportsman, even if we don't meet each other, we all know each other, know of each other. And it's always that when we meet like brothers. And of course, Saurabh also I know of. He's a very, very famous and exceptional badminton player. I've seen him play on television many times because I follow badminton a lot. And it's an honor to be on this panel. Of course, Niranjan Negiji has said everything about Dhyan Chandji, which the whole country, if not the whole world, knows about. And I don't need to speak further on him since an hockey expert has already spoken. Coming to Mr. To Shiv and Samriddhi's questions about, can you hear me properly?
Adhiraj, maybe you need to remove your mobile from there because it's echoing.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah, so the sound from the mobile is coming. Maybe you should remove the mobile from there, it will be better. There's some, I think, something coming from it. Probably when two gadgets together. Yeah. So
Is
maybe.
it better now?
So the video has been, you close the video. If you just reduce the volume on your phone to 0, or whichever device that you're not using to speak, the other device, if you can just reduce that volume to 0, then it will not
I'm
come.
using my phone. 1 minute.
Because the two devices are local, it's echoing.
Is it better now?
Much better, sir. Thank you.
No, I'm not being able to hear.
I think that one device would work fine.
Is it better now?
Yes, absolutely.
Can
Thank
you
you
hear
so
me now?
much. We can hear you, sir. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you.
So what I was saying is that coming back to the questions that the young gentleman, the young lady put up to me about riding horses. I started riding at a very young age because some of my family members used to ride. And it is not very easy to access horse riding, so to speak. And because I had people who were in the army, so through them I could access horse riding. But to be able to continue in my career of horse riding, especially in the in the 80s, I had to join the army. And because I was so much in love with the idea of riding horses and of competing and excelling in horsemanship, that I joined the army. I joined the NDA, National Defense Academy, with the sole aim that one day I will represent India in equestrian. And the idea of me telling you this is for you to understand that if when you're in school, when you're a child, when you're in school, when you're in college, if you have an aim and an ideal to do something, you achieve it. And I joined the NDA, I went to IMA, I became an officer, but through that, I kept excelling in equestrian. And it is a result of that in 1982, I was chosen to represent India in the Asian Games. And basically, it was a dream which I managed to fulfill to come true. So any of you children today, if you dream something, it will happen. The only thing is you have to dream and focus on it and concentrate and put all your energies behind it. If you put your energies behind your dreams, you achieve your dreams. That is the ultimate truth. So I did that, and finally I got my Arjuna Award. Thing is that horse riding is not a very simple skill to learn. But if you have the courage and you have the intensity to learn it, there is nothing to stop you. So as an example, today in Bhopal, you have the Madhya Pradesh State Equestrian Academy, which is as good as any equestrian setup anywhere in the world. So if any of the children want to really focus and get into horse riding and that kind of sport, you can access something like that. In my time, there was nothing like that available. So I joined the army. So there are a lot of things like this in life where, especially related to sport, if you put your mind to it, you achieve it. I'm sure Meeranjan ji and Saurabh also focused at some point of time in their lives to the nicest thing thing is to see a good rider and a good horse together. It's poetry in motion. But that is how you then begin to be able to hold a stick in one hand and hit a ball on the ground, because you know that you and the horse are one. So you don't worry about the riding bit of it. Then you're only concentrating on the ball and the game and how to hit the ball and where to hit the ball.
Thank you, sir. It is remarkable to hear how your horse respond to your moves.
Thank you.
Ayush, do you have any questions for sir?
So my question is, what would your advice be for those interested in pursuing polo?
Well, the most important is first that they should know that they're not scared of sitting on a horse. If they have any fear or any apprehension about sitting on a horse, then they should not even think about polo. And the second is that they must access a place where they can learn how to ride a horse and ride it well. Because without having said that, yes, there are some dangers involved, but that there is a chance that you may get hurt. But so what? People play the game. You can get hurt playing hockey and badminton also by falling down or by getting hit by a stick or something like that. But in polo, the moment you have understood how to ride the horse properly, the rest is very easy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, children. I'll request our moderators to now continue as the program was planned. And if Major Ajiraj is still with us, we will keep him occupied with more questions at that point.
I think Negi ji wants to say something. Yeah. Still, we're not able to hear you. You'll have to. Yes.
I want to ask one question to Major Adhiraj Singh ji. That we have seen the pinnacle of success of him getting this Arjun Award, and but we want to listen to some story where he went down and he had a fall, or some incidents where you showed some courage and fought back in life. Can you explain any incidents in your life? There must be something for the kids to know, something, a new story maybe.
Well, I don't know whether I should be telling it, because it might dishearten some people. But that is sport and that is life. You have to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. Yes, I had uh, uh, a very powerful incident many years ago on the polo ground, where an opponent player's stick got me on my jaw and completely shattered my jaw. It was in many pieces. And I was still in the army at that time, and I remember when it got me, I saw stars. And I'm very scared to put my child into this sport. They can get hurt. So I said, that all is a part of sport. And actually, it's like putting masala in your food. If you don't get hurt a few times, you don't have to overcome some hills and overcome some difficulties, there is not that much fun. There is no smooth sailing. Just like in life, there's no smooth sailing. Even in sport, there is no smooth sailing. And the real victory is when you overcome all these hills and you reach the other side and you climb the biggest peak and you feel, wow, I overcame all this. Then you look back and you say, I really lived my life.
That's amazing. I think that's how a sportsman should be.
Really
And
fantastic. बहुत अच्छा. मतलब, it touched our heart, and I could see Kiran, she was like, and this is a very big thing, In fact, I feel that, even our hockey, he have a weapon in hand. When you're playing hockey, you have a weapon in hand, and you have to win against the opponent team without hurting them, seeing that they don't get injured. So that is our mentality, Indian mentality also. And we call them trophies, as Major Adhiraj Singh ji just said. कि ये चोट जो होती है ना, इनको हमने जिसको चोट नहीं लगी, या ऐसा हो सकता है पोलो में भी. Then there may be every player must have got some hit or the other. That is what called Chakti.
Absolutely. There is no sport, or at least any really physical sport, where you will not get injured. Even a sport like badminton, I want to say this as my last thing regarding this. I used to, throughout my young life, I always looked at badminton as a sport for girls. And I used to play squash and I used to play tennis and I used to think badminton ye ladkiyon ki game hai. Until one day, one of my close friends challenged me to a game of badminton. After 5 or 6 points, I couldn't move on the court. It was so challenging. मेरे तो धुआं निकल गया था जो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में कि इतना इसने मुझे दौड़ाया. After that, today I respect badminton as one of the most grueling sports to play. I have so much respect for badminton.
Colonel's Academy would like to wish you all a very happy National Sports Day. And as we all know, we celebrate this National Sports Day on birthday of Major Dhyan Chand ji, who was a hockey wizard and who won Olympic medals for our country. And I think uh, it's always a proud moment for any player to win medal for his country, and that too Olympic medal is something which I think is a national champion in senior category. I started playing internationally, and from since then I have been participating in international tournament and national tournament. So I think it's an honor for me to represent our country on international level.
Saurabh, you have any questions from Negi ji or from Adhiraj ji?
Um, before Saurabh completes, I would like to add a few things. There are two brothers, Saurabh and Sameer, and his father, Sudhir Verma. You know, I spoke to him a couple of times, and those who are listening should listen to this also. That his father, exactly like the movie Dangal, used to wake them up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and 4 o'clock. These both the kids, they used to be on the court because there was only one court in Dhar. So Saurabh and Sameer,
Yeah, that's right,
4 o'clock in the morning, they used to start their practice. And even today, this Sidhu, Pulela Gopichan, he calls her at 4 o'clock in the morning. No mobile phone, nothing. And the way these people, and badminton is a very expensive game. And from there to play for India, that is amazing. When I was doing this his
definitely.
story, believe me, I had goosebumps. And a couple of times I cried when I wrote that story. It is such a touching story. And as far as Major Adhiraj Singh is concerned, I have not seen polo except I have seen the uh, kings and the princes. It is basically their game. Uh, but maybe someday on the polo ground, Delhi polo ground,
But you know,
myself and
you're talking
It's a wonderful day.
that will go.
you're talking about Saurabh and Sameer's story. Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
This is mainly for the students who are listening. Talking about Saurabh and Sameer's story, it is an amazing story of all trials and tribulations where you sacrifice a lot. You wake up early, you are single-minded, you're completely focused on what you want to achieve. And it is amazing that his father and him and his brother, stuck to it and managed to reach And this is the story of all sportsmen all over the world. That unless you dedicate yourself, and my family, I want to tell you about this. Younger brother, Singh, and my two uncles, my mother's two brothers. You achieve a lot of fame. You can even earn good money from the sport, and you put yourself in a place where other people will then give you an opportunity in life further up. So please treat sport as a very, very serious.
Just say something about Abhiraj's mom. She's an excellent person and such a proud lady. And I'm very, very happy to tell you that she is very, very close to my heart. So today I'm telling you that it's always a pleasure whenever I go and meet her, and she's like my elder sister. So, Saurabh,
Sorry, can you repeat, ma'am?
बेटे आप पूछना चाहते हैं आप you want to ask something?
आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क, मैंने कभी इक्वेस्ट्रियन गेम खेला नहीं है और मतलब बहुत कम देखा है. ओलंपिक में एक बार मैंने देखा था जब मैचेस हो रहे थे, बट आई हैव नेवर वॉच्ड इट। उसके अलावा जैसा सर ने बोला कि बैडमिंटन जब उन्होंने पहली बार खेला था तो उतना ही इक्वलिटी है। तो मैं सर से यही पूछना चाहूंगा कि जब उन्होंने जब खेलना शुरू किया था तो किस तरह से उस टाइम पे क्या चैलेंजेस थे उनके लिए और कैसे उन्होंने उनको ओवरकम किया और इस लेवल पे उन्होंने जाके अपना अपना परफॉर्मेंस दिया।
और मुझे आपको चैलेंजेस की आप बताने की जरूरत है। जो आपने चैलेंजेस फेस किए हैं वो तो मुझसे भी ज्यादा होंगे।
जी सर।
यू आर
सर डेफिनेटली, बट यस सर, बट आपके टाइम पे किस तरह, क्योंकि पहले उतनी फैसिलिटीज होती नहीं थी, तो
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
मेरे ख्याल से
अब
उस
जो
टाइम पे,
फैसिलिटीज हैं, अब जो फोकस है
जी
स्पोर्ट्स
हाँ,
पे, वो तो 1000 गुना ज्यादा है
वो उस टाइम पे
जब हम स्पोर्ट्स
जी
करते
हाँ,
थे। बट
जी हाँ,
लकीली फॉर मी, मैं आर्मी में गया था, तो आर्मी में काफी इसमें काफी कुछ आर्मी ऐसी संस्था है जहाँ पे काफी ढंग से काम करते हैं लोग। फोकस रहता है,
जी
डिसिप्लिन रहता है।
जी
और लकीली आर्मी में उस टाइम इक्वेशन काफी बड़े फोकस में थी। तो
जी
82 एशियन गेम में हमने गोल्ड मेडल प्राप्त किया था। उससे मैं भी 82 एशियन गेम में था, मैं 7th आया था,
जी
पर काफी इम्पेटस मिला था। पर अगर मैं आर्मी ज्वाइन नहीं करता तो मुझे इस स्पोर्ट में एक्सेल करने की अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलती। तो इसलिए मैं
यस
आर्मी को बड़ा थैंक यू करना चाहता हूँ।
जी
बट एज
जी
इट इज,
सर।
आर्मी इज एन अमेजिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन।
सर्विसेज किस चीज, किस स्टेट को बोलते हैं, बट लेटर ऑन आई गॉट टू नो कि सर्विसेज जो है वो आर्मी वालों को सर्विसेज रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं। एंड आई फील कि जैसा कि आपने मूवी में भी देखा होगा कि जो मिल्खा सिंह सर थे, उन्होंने भी आर्मी ज्वाइन करने के बाद जो है इतना बड़ा मुकाम हासिल किया। बड़ी अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रही होगी। एंड नाउ जैसे हम लोग हैं तो अभी ओएनजीसी और बाकी पेट्रोलियम सेक्टर्स जो हैं वो काफी हेल्प करते हैं। जैसे मेरे करियर में ओएनजीसी का काफी बड़ा योगदान रहा है, क्योंकि व्हेन आई वाज 16 और 17 इयर्स ओल्ड, एंड जैसा सर ने बताया कि बैडमिंटन एक एक्सपेंसिव स्पोर्ट है, तो इट वाज रियली टफ फॉर माय फैमिली टू टू मैनेज equipment for of both of us, and we both were playing on national level. तो इतना महंगा तो खिलाना का ने मुझे इंटरनेशनल सर्किट देन जॉब आल्सो। So I'm really thankful in terms of foreign exposure, tournaments abroad, help me financially, and as well as whenever I need any support like physiotherapy or anything. So I'm really lucky, जैसा कि आपने बताया आर्मी को लेके, तो स्पोर्ट्स को बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं।
Been asked Ari for taking over your panel, Shiv and Falguni, but it was just, I think, very fascinating and interesting for us to hear. But back to you, and we'll let you complete your session as you planned now.
Chiranjeev,
Sir, it was fantastic hearing all of them in conversation. You know, we would have never got this opportunity, and the students also would never have got this opportunity to hear three esteemed players talking together, having a conversation. And as you said, it was an insight into each one's little bit of your personality and how you put in a lot of hard work. And from now here on, I hand over to Simriddhi to carry on. Yes, Simriddhi, please.
Okay. Thank you, Adhiraj sir. Your words were very inspirational, and it's a great honor to have you with us. I even want to thank Saurav Verma. Sir, it was very motivating hearing you as to how you started your game and the success you have achieved. You are an inspiration to all of us.
Samriddhi, did you know that the National Stadium in Delhi has been renamed the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium?
Yes, I do. And I even know that an AstroTurf pitch at the Indian Gymkhana Club in London has been named after Indian hockey legend Dhyan Chand.
Wow! And to add that, the Garrison ground in our own Mahu has been renamed after him a few years back.
Yes, indeed. Moving on, our next speaker comes from a sport in which men and women.
Sorry to interrupt. I think Mr. Adhiraj is actually, maybe we can say vote of thanks.
He has already left. Major Adhiraj has already left. And I think Mr. Saurav Verma has also spoken.
Fine, sir. We can move on to the question answer round. Children, so you can pose one question because of the time limit. Okay, so please pose a question to Negi sir and to Saurabh sir so that we can learn more about them. Yes.
Sir, my question is to you, to Mr. Ranjan Negi sir. What thoughts come to a sportsman's mind when they're representing the country in an international tournament? Sir, you also went through all those days. So how did you tackle the pressure?
Can I just interrupt for a minute? I think Adhiraj is coming back. If we can just say thank you, Arjun sir, to him. He is coming back. He's just joining in. So we can then say bye to him.
Okay, so we'll let Mr. Negi ji answer this question and then we'll.
Yes. Yeah, please, sir. Mr. Negi, आप करिए इसको, please.
ठीक है. जितने भी टॉप के प्लेयर्स होते हैं, है ना, जितने भी टॉप प्लेयर्स होते हैं वो अपने आप को री-इन्वेंट करते हैं, अपने लिए नए नए चैलेंजेस बनाते हैं, है ना. सचिन तेंदुलकर ने 10,000 रन बनाए तो 100 सेंचुरी उनको मारने का था. 6 बार विंबलडन चैंपियन बने और उसके बाद में है ना, उसके बाद में फिर वो कुछ जीतना चाहते हैं, फ्रेंच ओपन, फेडरर, है ना, रॉजर फेडरर. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स हैं, रोनाल्डो से लेके सारे के सारे, जो हर बार अपने लिए नए चैलेंजेस इकट्ठा करते हैं. तो स्पोर्ट्समैन जो होता है वो इस किस्म से अपने आप को देखता है, जिंदगी में बहुत जल्दी संतुष्ट नहीं होता, कुछ ना कुछ नया अपने लिए चैलेंजेस करता है. और जिस समय हम लोग खेलते हैं, वी गो फॉर अ मैच, तो हमेशा याद रखना, आइदर यू आर गोइंग फॉर अ मैच और यू आर गोइंग फॉर सम एग्जामिनेशन. तो जो एंजाइटी लेवल होता है वो बहुत ज्यादा कभी कभी बढ़ जाता है. जब एंजाइटी लेवल बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है तो आपका परफॉर्मेंस जो है वो डाउन हो जाता है. एग्जामिनेशन के पहले, मैच के पहले नर्वसनेस होना जरूरी है. इट इज ऑलवेज बेटर, क्योंकि नर्वसनेस गिव्स यू एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी. लेकिन उससे घबराना नहीं है. और ये जो एंजाइटी का लेवल है इसको एक ऑप्टिमम लेवल के ऊपर रखना चाहिए. If there is no excitement, you know, before a match, there is no excitement before a examination, then also your performance may go down. So be very focused. उसके लिए बहुत सारी techniques हैं that you can follow. Maybe someday I'll come to your school and then we will have a very long session. For now, just enjoy what you are doing. That is the best thing actually. अगर जो चीज जो आपका पैशन है वो आपका प्रोफेशन बने, तो उससे अच्छी कोई बात ही नहीं है. You know, love what you are doing and everything else falls in place. Trust me.
Thank you, Mr. Negi. And I know Major Adhiraj has been very kind to come back for a couple of minutes. I know he has another commitment at 6 o'clock. But before we let you go, Major Adhiraj, we wanted to thank you for taking time and joining us today. You've known the family for some time, my mother for some time, but the school that she runs here is also run with the same amount of passion, dedication that she brings to any relationship, any conversation. I think the things that you said about having an aim and trying and striving to achieve that is very, very important in order to achieve it. And putting your mind and courage and intensity into something, I think these were very, very important messages that you've given to our children. And for that, I think all I can say is that growing up as a sports person's son, my father, who played many, many different sports, I have seen him play all kinds of sports growing up. At heart, he was a sportsman also. In fact, at NDA, he was Academy Blue in swimming and boxing. So sports from swimming to boxing to basketball to hockey, I've seen him play all these sports as I grew up. In fact, his favorite sport was squash. And as the commanding officer of his unit, a person who's called an old man in the unit, because he's a senior most officer, he used to regularly beat the young captains at squash. I mean, that was his favorite sport that he played, that I watched him play. And I think what he said was something that what you have also said in what you said, Raj, is that if you are passionate about playing something, if you're passionate, for him, the ideals of sports were the same that the ideals in life were needed. So the way you played sport was the way you lived your life. The same amount of passion, the same amount of value system was what reflected in how he lived his life. So once again, thank you so much for coming. We are extremely honored to have an Arjuna Awardee, and one who comes from a family of 4 Arjuna Awardees. It is a privilege to have you with us here. In March, where Bubbles Auntie was very kind enough to invite us, and we witnessed a fantastic game that happened in Delhi. And I feel very happy that my son, who's 4 years old, saw his first, and all the communication between the horse and the man and the coordination that is required was also very evident. And so I thank you for that fantastic opportunity as well, which I got to watch. So thank you again, and I know you're in a hurry to go, so we'll let you go. But we certainly look forward to more interaction with you. We'll certainly look forward to more opportunity where our children can hear and get inspired by you. Thank you very much.
And I would like to tell Adhiraj that even Arjun's son's name is Adhiraj. So Adhiraj is here. Thank you so much, Adhiraj. Thank you. We can carry on with our session.
Shivansh, you pose your question now to Saurabh, sir.
Yes, ma'am. The next question is for Mr. Saurabh Verma, sir. Sir, before I ask the question, I would like to share with you that I too have played badminton in school national semi-finals and would like to excel like you in future. Sir, my question is, which is the most important skills in badminton to learn, and how can a player use it in a game?
I think we need to learn every skill in badminton, because you cannot rely on a single skill if you want to play on national level or international level, because I think to a certain level it's okay to play with few skills, but if you want to excel at national level, you need to have uh, skills all over. Like if you want to play a drop shot, you have to have some kind of perfection in it. Yeah, it's very difficult to have skill, overall skill, but to basically you need to have few good strokes जो कि आपके लिए मैच जिता सकें. Like some players have good attack, like they like to smash, and whenever you give them opportunity to attack, they make sure that कि वो point उनको मिले. तो एवरी प्लेयर की एक खासियत होती है, एक स्पेशलिटी होती है. लाइक some players are very good in defense, some players are very good in attack. तो आगे जाके जैसे जैसे आप लेवल आगे बढ़ोगे, so you need to have a particular skill, like you need to have good attack. So whenever you get a chance to attack, you make sure that you get the point. So I think uh, at this stage, where you are playing at the national level, you need to have good skill. Like you need to have good drop shot, you need to have good tosses, you need to have good defense, you need to have good lifts. Everything comes, everything is needed, but make sure that you have one or two good quality strokes, so that वो strokes आपको match जिता सके.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So for telling about the important skills, and I, along with other players, would use it in our game. Thank you, sir.
I on behalf of all the students, thank our panelists for answering our questions. The students had given us a long list, but we could not ask all those questions to all of you. We wish that we have you again with us to answer their questions. And now I request Arjun sir to please thank our audience and our panelists who are here present with us now.
Thank you, ma'am. And very quickly, I'm back again to thank our other panelists. But before I thank our panelists, I just want to say some of which I already said, but when I hear all such fantastic sports people speak and sportsmen speak, it does bring back memories of childhood. And as I mentioned, I grew up son of a father who was at heart a sports person. Sports, we always knew that sports was going to be a very integral part of it. In the initial years, one of the first things he did was he put up a sign on the ground which said, "Play the game." And that caused a lot of discussions that I had with him, because he used to say that the most important part is to play the game. And as a young child growing up, I wasn't always convinced about it, because I thought the most important thing had to be about winning and not just playing the game. And he told me that in sports, as it is in life, it is important to remember the two things that are symbolized in this saying. One, no matter what, one must take part in the game. So be it sport or be it life, if you choose to sit out, you will never have a chance of winning. So the most important part, he said, was to make yourself get up, push yourself, and make yourself play. And hence, play the game. But the second part, which is also imbibed in this saying, is to say that it was important to play the game in all fairness and by abiding all the rules. He said that it was the same in life. It doesn't mean that you don't play to win. One always plays to win. One always works hard, practices, and perseveres to win. But winning or losing is the outcome of the results of the efforts you put in. The focus always has to be on playing the game. It now makes complete sense to me. So this is what the message I want all of you to take away today, that always remember it is most important to play the game. Sports, from what I understand, and having played sports, pretty much every sport in school and in college, possibly, I mean, I probably didn't excel in it as much as the esteemed panel we have today, but every opportunity I got, whether it was hockey or cricket or tennis, I have played most sports. But and to me, I think it seems that it is a training of the mind as much as it is of the body. And the essence of any sport, from what I have understood and from what I've heard the panelists say today, is to practice. And then when you've practiced, you practice some more. And when you start to excel in it, you again practice some more. Everyone knows that to win, you must have the will to win first. But there is something that separates the winners from the ones who also tried. It is not just the will to win. It is also the will to prepare. Because without that will to prepare, it is never possible to win. So no matter what you choose to do, it is your will to prepare to excel that will decide whether you succeed or fail. The discipline which is so clearly visible in sports is also applicable in life and in everything that you do. With this, I want to take the opportunity to thank the esteemed panel we have. I am completely honored and grateful, and to be honest, a little bit in awe of such a celebrity panel. From an Arjuna Award winner who inspired the whole nation to a person who inspired the whole nation to a movie that was made on him. And the three-time national badminton winner who has represented our country twice at the Asian Games. I am at a loss of words to express my thank you. Our students are truly blessed to have been able to hear your inspiring words. And I'm sure that if they can imbibe even some of the values that you have shown them today, they will be very successful in whatever they choose to do in life. Mr. Ranjan sir, thank you for remembering the times that you've come to our school and talking about the amazing atmosphere that you find here. We hope that you will continue to visit us and inspire our students. Mr. Verma, Saurabh, it was your humility and humbleness that made you say that you are lucky to have represented your country. I think it is the amount of sweat that goes into preparing for these sports and the passion that you have, which you are referring to as luck. But I think for us, it is the sweat that has gone in for helping you prepare. So before I conclude, I want to quote the famous tennis star Arthur Ashe, as he said, "You are never really playing an opponent. You're always playing yourself to your own highest standards. And when you reach your limit, that is real joy." With that, I want to thank the teachers and staff who've helped put this wonderful session together, the children who've been absolutely fantastic and patient with us as we have taken over their moderation in between and run the show. But really, it's been a very, very inspiring session. So, Ranjan Negiji sir, thank you very much. Saurabh, it would be wonderful to meet you at some point in time. We would love to have you come to our school. And, for a small town like Mao, it is always very, very inspiring to hear other sports people, other people who become successful from similar small towns in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We finished today's webinar.
Saurabh left. I think we are still not done. If you could wait for some time.
Let's continue with it.
We finished today's webinar with our school song, which was written by our founder father, late Colonel Tejan Bahadur. Sir was a sports enthusiast. His ambition was to have the students develop a good sportsmanship spirit, and for that, he ensured that the school rendered international level sports infrastructure. On his birth anniversary every year, a cross-country race is organized to pay a tribute to him.
Never forget her shining moon. You shall always play the game. Maybe love our alma mater, and the never forget her shining moon. You shall always play the game. In the classroom, all the small field, when the cyber be in the classroom, all the small field, when the cyber be and the summer is now a torrent, on the little we must see. And the summer is coming on, friends. Autumn we must see. We love our moment and the whole world will never forget our shining hope too. We must always play the game. Glory on the four nations, and the young from your heart. Glory on the four nations, and the young from your heart. We will never to forget to, and we will achieve it. We will never to forget to, and we will achieve it. We love our mom and the day. Never forget her shining home. We must always play the we will live on at the standards, on the strive for excellence standards, on the strive for excellence. Working for the nation's will be our working for the nation's will be our we love our mom and the world. Never forget our shining home too. We must always play the game. We must always play the game. We must always play the game.
Well, today indeed the session was really inspiring. But before we log off, we would like to share with you all our students' achievements as well, who with their hard work are doing really well in the respective sports areas, and they have done us proud. And we really hope for that with the same continued zeal, they would reach again pinnacle of that sports which they have selected. So I would just request Rehana ma'am to just share the children so that they also get motivated. They are, we are very proud of them. They've really worked hard in so many years and they're still working hard.
Rachna ma'am, can you replay the presentation, please? What we saw here were some students who have represented the Colonel's Academy in sports at very, very state, national level competitions, have gone on to play national level competitions in their respective sports. And they are also a source of inspiration to other students in our school. And I want to encourage our current students to look at, not just look, sometimes the achievements of the sports people like Mr. Negi ji and Major Adiraj seem too far away to achieve. But these achievements of your seniors, of students who are still studying with you, some of them, is something that can inspire you now to achieve success in the area of sports. So if you practice hard, there is examples within our school where students have represented and played at the national level. So I want to take the opportunity on this day to acknowledge and to thank these students as well for their dedication and sincerity and to the sports that they play. Thank you.
Well, with this, we come to the end of today's webinar. So once again, a very big thank you to all the viewers who have been with us through Google platform, as well as those who are watching us from YouTube as well as Facebook. Thank you so very much for being a part of today's webinar. We may all log out from the link now.
Thank you and God bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye now.